look at Azlar on offense, he does come into play, shoots you in the face with some fire. Over 6 turns, you're also receiving damage. The biggest downside to Azlar is the fact that he's running at slow speed. When you're running at slow speed, this game goes really quick.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. If you're curious about any other hero in Empires and Puzzles, you can view my website at anchorcome.com. There you will find I've graded every single hero with a calibrated team of graders. This resource will always be free. Thinking about supporting the hero grades and the breakdown videos? You're welcome to donate. Otherwise, feel free to share this resource with a friend. I have my exclusive line group called Anchor Cove, where you gain access to myself and tons of other experienced players with on-demand information and resources. If that piques your interest, all that information is on the opening page of my website with a short video. Let me dive into today's Hero Breakdown.
Thank you so much for coming and checking out today's Hero Breakdown. On today's Hero Breakdown, we're going to discuss Azlar, or how Liv likes to call him, Lai. This massive giant beast thing has been rocking in my roster since literally day one. I think this was probably my very first 5-star ever. And I've loved using Azlar. In fact, to this day, I still use Azlar a lot. I haven't retired him. I think it's just fond memories that I cherish and love with him. But into his stats, 793 attack, which is actually super awesome and pretty amazing. Defense, 607, not that great. 1322 on the life. A little fragile. He's got some sensitive parts to him, and that's okay. We still love him for it. But he's rocking in at slow damage, which does come to be a little bit of a factor. Deals 205 damage to all enemies, and all enemies receive 360 damage over 6 turns, burning you out over a long period of time. This video is sponsored by my good friends at Raid Shadow Legends. It is a free massive turn-based dark fantasy RPG. To try the game out, all you gotta do is go to the video description, click on the special links. If you're a new player within 30 days of this release, you'll receive an epic champion, Joan Toon, and 100,000 silver. All this treasure is waiting for you right over here. Looking at Azlar's emblem sequence, it is a barbarian class, which typically Gravemaker is sucking up those barbarian emblems, possibly Cage Burrito on your defense as well too. And a lot of times Azlar isn't going to go on defense, so you're not really going to give him emblems first. On versus a Titan, Azlar does come into play, but it's probably not how you think. A lot of times people think the 205 damage might be great, probably the burn, but it's not. That's actually the worst part about him on Titans. The best contributing factor that Azlar brings to a Titan battle is going to be from his high tile damage. 793 is actually really high, and myself personally, I went ahead and I used Azlar quite a bit for a long time because I just didn't have a hero that had higher tile damage that was in red. When you look at Azlar on offense, he does come into play, shoots you in the face with some fire. Over 6 turns, you're also receiving damage. The biggest downside to Azlar is the fact that he's running at slow speed. When you're running at slow speed, this game goes really quick. Does help against Teleria a little bit, but when you have it at slow speed, it doesn't come into too much of a factor. When you look at him as a defense, he does rank in there with a tank. I know initially he was on the top 5 tanks. I released that video before for regular heroes, but he's definitely downgraded quite a bit. It's been a while since then. You're not really going to want to use him in a flanking position, but there are some times in the wing position that he might fit in, but he's really fragile, and that's the unfortunate part with him on defense. He does factor in on so at an overall, more specifically, Sonya Costume can battle against him. Chilling on a flank doesn't really factor in too much. Being slow, it comes into not really being useful. Sometimes a flank will die before then. But in the long, extenuating battles, he can fit in at a wing position, and that's why he's got a B rank over there. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give him a B on defense. When we take a look at his rush grade on the weekly raid tournaments, he does have an amazing ability to go ahead and fire off at very fast speed to burn everybody down. This is probably close to an A+ grade. I'm definitely bringing him on any raid tournament that favors going up against green heroes. In terms of the buff tournament, doesn't really factor in too much. just kind of sits there and chills. Being at slow speed, not really that much of an issue. Bloody Battle can definitely punch your enemies in the mouth because you have a situation to where they can't heal and they're just vulnerable to getting smashed down with a whole bunch of fire. Overall, when I take a look at Azlar, he's got a solid B grade. I do like this hero. It does fit in if you're kind of new to the game and you want to just get your feet wet. I do like this hero a lot though.